everyone, Nick Kretikos of Nick's Seasonal Decor, and I thought we would mix it up today and design a beach theme design. So, in years past, beach theme designs have been some of my best sellers. I live on the coast, and a lot of families around here love to have beach-oriented designs. So you can customize this, whether it be the seahorse we're working with today. You can pick them up in starfish, regular fish, kind of make them more so towards lakes, and you can even do like boat theme designs. So I only have my phone today, so I'm going to have to periodically look back at comments and answer as many as I possibly can. But as you come in, let me know where you're watching from. Today was yet again another beautiful day. It was a little bit cooler today than it has been, so I'm really happy about that because it's just been so freaking hot lately. So at least my shop is nice and cool today. Hi, Andrea. Welcome, you guys. So we have this seahorse. Give some hearts if you think this is cute. I really like this. It's made out of kind of a wicker material, and it's got some width to it as well, and I think it's really cute. So we're going to be designing with this. One thing I always encourage whenever designing with, whether it be containers, pieces like this, wall swags, you name it, you always don't want to completely cover your form, and sometimes you'll often see people completely cover their form, which in my eyes doesn't make sense. You're paying money for the form, and you want to be able to distinguish that this is a starfish. So our design is pretty much going to stay in this general area. We're not going to overdo it, and you can quickly overdo it without even realizing it. So I always think less is more, but in particular, definitely less is more when it comes to designs like this. So we have a couple ribbons today. I pulled out some 2.5 inch cobalt blue, navy blue ribbon as well, but I think we're going to hold off on adding the 2.5 inch. Chattanooga, Tennessee, hot in Texas, welcome. So I think we're going to hold off on adding these. I don't really want them in this just because we're dealing with a smaller form today. So the two ribbons I have chosen are a beach, what are these called? Anchor ribbon, and then just a solid 1.5 inch navy blue as well. So let's remove the plastic. And this one has a little pin in it to keep it secure. And that's another thing. I always use floral pins to secure my ribbons. So we're going to deal with both of these. Hi, Dorothy. So we're not going to create an overly large bow because we want our focus to be our seahorse. So we'll probably create a bow with about 3.5, 4-inch loops. And tails running anywhere from, let's do 4 to 8 inches. And we can trim up our tails if needed afterwards. But I always like to cut them a little bit longer in case I decide I want to do something else with them, whether it be curl them up. It's easier to take away the ribbon than it is to add the ribbon in this case. But how have you guys been today? Let me know what you guys did. We're just going to add a few more loops. I don't think we're going to need to do more than 3 of each, maybe even less. Because like I said before, we don't want to completely cover up our figure. But I think these two ribbons really work nicely together. But my shop is looking really clean right now. I posted a picture yesterday, but in case you missed it, Yaya came down here and cleaned it for me. And she's just the cutest thing, the sweetest thing. So we have a nice clean shop. And hopefully it stays that way for a little bit. Alright, so we'll end up doing 3 of each just to create a decent sized bow. So now our last ribbon, the anchor one. Just secure that up with a pipe cleaner. And it's looking a little funky at this point, but our next step is going to be dovetailing and then securing it into our frame. Isn't that cute? Is it possible to purchase just a seahorse? It's so perfect. So unfortunately, I only have 2 of these. If I'm able to source more, maybe I'll be able to list them, but that's the only two I could find. So our next step is to really create a professional looking end to our ribbons. So we're going to take them in half and just dovetail like that. But at this point in time, if you guys don't mind giving this video a like as well as a share, I greatly appreciate it. It helps us reach and inspire as many people as possible. That's the whole point of these videos, is I really want you guys to understand that you can do this. I mean, especially this design. This is probably one of the easiest ones we're going to end up doing. It's not going to take a whole lot of product. But in the end, we're going to have a cute little design. So I have my Fisker scissors somewhere, but I just can't find them. I'm wondering if I put them down somewhere. I'm kind of known for losing everything. But we have a few more of these to dovetail. And then we can secure it to our seahorse and start shaping our bow. Okay, I think this is the last one, but I always seem to miss one or two anyway. Let's check. Looks like we got them all. So now we're going to come back to our seahorse and secure it. And then at this point, we can decide if we need to trim anything off or make our bow a little bit smaller. So I'm just wrapping it around the wicker like that. So I know definitely a few of those tails will trim up. For instance, this one could use a little trim, because we don't want to overpower this, and you can very easily do that, especially if you're so used to making wreaths and swags and stuff like that. You're thinking these things will take a lot more product than they need, but it's just not the case. You know, less is more, especially in a design like this. So we'll trim up a few of them. But I wish this came in a starfish. I really like the starfish. I mean, the seahorse is cute too, don't get me wrong. Maybe even a little shorter. So as I said, even though we're wasting maybe a couple inches of each ribbon, I'd rather waste it than not have enough and create too small of a bow, because it's always easier to take away than it is to add. All right, this one just a little bit shorter, and then one more blue one, and that's it. Look how cute that is. What do you guys think? What a perfect combination of ribbon, these two. These two work great together. I really like that. Now it's time to enhance it a little bit. Hi, Jill. And like I said, sorry, you guys have to keep checking my phone. Hi, Mary. Just because this is the only phone I have today. We have one of these hydrangeas that came from Trends and Gems, or formerly known as Trends and Gems. They go by Greenery Market now. And I try to pick up foliage and greenery that really kind of simulated seaweed. So this is what I ended up finding, some of this. We also have some of these, which I really like these ones as well. So let's break this down. This came from Michael's. Ooh, that cut's great. So if the pieces on this were any larger than they are, what I more than likely would do would be to zip tie them in. And I do have some zip ties if we're going to add bigger pieces. But to start off with, we're going to take some pieces, break them short, dip them in our glue skillet. Let's see if you guys can see the glue skillet. Yep. Dip them in our glue skillet, lift our bow, and just poke a little bit of this foliage. So this is one of those foliages that if you pull up the leaves, they go all the way up. So you do want to be mindful of that. Lots of greenery you can break into pieces and work them in. And then there's certain pieces of greenery like these ones where you can't necessarily do that, because if you cut this right in half, all of these pieces would just slide out very easily, and you don't want that to happen. So let's keep rotating it, just peppering in a handful of them. Looks like we have 3 pieces left. So this whole design is going to stay nice and compact. We're not going to add anything too bulky. And like that hydrangea I showed you guys, I would not use that in its entirety. If we do end up using that, we're just going to break it into little pieces and work the smaller pieces in. So we have one more piece of this. What do you think of that? Isn't that cute? I like that. Crystal says, talent. Thank you, Crystal. What is it sticking to since the seahorse is so hollow? So it's actually just stuck onto the wicker. The wicker is thick and it should keep it in place perfectly fine. So I'll end up cutting off this pipe cleaner before I ship this. So before I list it into my Etsy shop, I'll clean it up, make sure that there's nothing sticking through and it's as neat and clean as possible. But something like this is something that you'd want to protect anyway. So I wouldn't recommend placing this in the full blazing sun or where it's exposed to all of the elements because it is wicker and it won't last forever. So we have some of these hydrangeas. Well, we have one of this. And for this, what I think we're going to do is just break it into little pieces. So I'm going to snip off some of the individual flower clusters. And this hydrangea is kind of set up like nothing I've ever seen before. It's all pieced together. Every single piece has kind of like a ring around it, which is just something I haven't seen before. So we're not going to overdo it. See what I'm talking about? I haven't seen that before. It's kind of cool. But this came from Alana and Bill. And I picked it up probably at the New York Wreath Gala. And all I'm doing is I'm just tucking in a few flowers. I would not add any super bulky flowers into this. We're keeping everything nice and compact. What do you guys think so far? I think it's turning out cute. So the reason I'm adding the foliage and the flowers, because I'm sure you guys are wondering, I'm adding them in like this, is because if we apply a generous amount of hot glue and stick it into the ribbon and make sure that there's good contact with the ribbon itself, everything we're adding is not heavy and it should hold its shape just fine. But if we were dealing with bigger products, I would recommend zip tying them in or using a pipe cleaner or some other form of attachment. See, we just have a little bit of the blue peeking through. Let's break off 1 or 2 more of those little flower clusters. And just work them in. What do you guys think of that? Isn't that cute? Sherry says, hi Nick, love watching you. Thank you, Sherry. I really like that. Took no time at all. And I picked the seahorses up yesterday and I figured might as well do a design with you guys tonight. So 2 minutes before this video, like I always do, I just found a couple things and threw them together and it always turns out great. So don't be afraid to try things out. If it works, it works. If it doesn't, take it apart. Try it elsewhere. We do have a starfish right here, which I think we're going to work in as well. And for this one, it already has a wire secured to it. So I'm just going to pull back some of the ribbon. Actually, I think I'm just going to add this in. It's very lightweight, so I'm just going to hot glue this in place. So dip it in my glue skillet. Look at how much hot glue I used, you guys. So starfishes are brittle, but they hold their shape nicely, and they'll stay exactly where you place them, especially with a lot of hot glue. But like I said, this is something I do not recommend just sticking anywhere. You do want to have this in a slightly sheltered location so it doesn't completely fall apart. So we place one down below. Let me know down below, should I place another one up top to kind of balance each other out? Let's see what else we got. We have another one. This one's a little bit thicker. I don't think we need one up top, personally. I think that's enough. I don't think we need to go overboard. What do you guys think of that? Isn't that kind of cute? So this will be listed in my Etsy shop, but at this point in time, if you guys don't mind giving this video a like and a share, I greatly appreciate it. It helps me grow as a designer. So let me know what you guys think of this. A very simple project, and if I was to take away anything from today, I would take away that if you're designing with embellishments like this, to not overdo it. Make sure you can see enough of the product to distinguish what it is, and if you do want to cover it up, make sure that you use matching things like the anchor ribbon so that people at least know it's beach themed or, you know, lake themed or pond themed or whatever. So I hope you guys enjoyed that. I think it turned out really cute. Let me hang it up and give you guys one final look. So bear with me for 1 second. So now I'm just going to turn the camera around. It's perfect the way it is. Thank you, Pat. Carmen says, beautiful seahorse. Thank you, Carmen. Joanne, very nice. It's beautiful with just 1 star. Okay, so the camera's having a little bit of a difficult time focusing. I do have my big camera kind of facing you guys, but this is how it turned out. What do you guys think? Shared the love. Thank you. Colleen says shared. Thank you, Colleen. Very simple. I think it turned out cute. You still can distinguish that it's a starfish. So I'll have some prettier pictures of this taken so you guys can see it a little bit better. But thank you guys so much for keeping me company tonight. I hope you're all staying safe and healthy. And I'll see you all more than likely tomorrow night. Me and Alex are also recording a tutorial tomorrow for you all. Another quick tutorial. And hopefully we can finish up the bench that we have outside. So stay tuned for those projects as well. Melissa asked, do you ever spray your, lost that comment, 1 sec. Do you ever spray your faux flowers to help make them last longer? And the answer is I never ever do. I've never sprayed my mesh or any of my florals. No matter what you use, I believe the sun is probably, if it is the strongest thing that we have, and it does do some damage, no matter how UV resistant or anything your products is, whether it's the sun or the elements in general, I think they do wear things out over time. So no need to really spray it because I don't think it's going to make a huge difference personally. So again, thank you guys for keeping me company, and I'll see you all soon. Bye, everyone.